Hello again. You may have seen me before. Well, actually, it's very likely that you haven't. This is my second video, and I am hoping to make more videos in the future. I have to come up with ideas first, but I'm starting somewhere small. And I already made a video, which is very similar to this one, because in this one I will be talking to the camera, and in the last one that's exactly what I did, except for the fact that the last one wasn't very good. As a matter of fact, it was so bad it only got 9 views. Right. Anyway, in this video I will be talking about video games. As this year something very odd happened in terms of video games this year. Now, you might be wondering what I'm talking about, but you will know when I start talking about it. It's a story you're very familiar with. And I will, let me begin. When I was growing up, one of the most popular video game console, actually the console to have, was a PlayStation. You may remember, if you grew up around the late 1990s or in the early 2000s, you would have remembered the PlayStation very well. Everybody had one. I had a PlayStation myself. And then there was the PlayStation 2. Though, might I add, I got a PlayStation, or a PlayStation 1 as most of you will call it now, I think it was in late 2001 as a Christmas present from my uncle. But the PlayStation 2 had already been released a year earlier, in 2000. But I didn't really care. I was a child, it was a PlayStation, and I loved it. It's actually in the attic now. I still have it, 12 years later. And I never had a PlayStation 2 until my 11th birthday in 2005. I'll show you. That's my PlayStation 2. See it? And a year later the PlayStation 3 was released, so you can tell I'm very far behind in the world of video games. As a matter of fact, the most advanced video game console I have is this, a PlayStation Portable. But, so yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is that the PlayStation was a really popular console. Everybody had one, and you had to have one if you wanted to have a great childhood. Well, sorry. It was a must-have, according to a lot of people. But something odd happened. Around late 2006 and early 2007, the PlayStation 3 was released, and the Xbox 360 had already been released in 2005, and the Nintendo Wii had already been released in 2006. And a lot of people didn't seem to like the PlayStation 3. It was really expensive to start off with. It cost €700 here in Ireland, and I also think it probably cost £700 in Britain and $700 in America, which is very expensive. Though, might I add, video game consoles are expensive anyway. They cost a few hundred euro. I would recommend, if you are going to start playing video games, only buy a console if you're going to use it. But anyway, the Xbox 360 and the Wii were cheaper. And also, the PlayStation 3's main rival, the Xbox 360, was sort of glorified, because people said stuff like the graphics are much better, which I do not give a shit about. I do not give a single shit or a single crap about graphics in a video game. A video game could have great graphics and be as boring as fuck. And the other way around, a game could have terrible graphics and be the most fun game in the whole entire universe. But people said the graphics were better, there were more exclusives, and there were better exclusives. As a matter of fact, I was talking to a few people last year when I was rehearsing for a show. About video games. And one of the guys told me that the Xbox was better. He was like, the Xbox is better. It has so much more exclusives. And another guy said that he was once a devoted PlayStation fan, a bit like myself actually. But then he got an Xbox 360 and he loved that. And as a matter of fact, the only reason... Well, I don't think there is any reason for me to buy an Xbox 360. If I had a choice between an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 3, I would go for a PlayStation 3. I would play a PlayStation 3 and I would buy one instead of an Xbox 360. I'm sorry. It's my choice. You may argue, but I'm still a little bit too devoted to the PlayStation to switch to an Xbox. And yes, some people did say that the PlayStation 3 was better than the Xbox 360. And as a matter of fact, I was talking to a guy in my class in school when I was 16, and he told me that he knew a lot of people who traded in their Xbox 360s for PlayStation 3, even though game trading and console trading is a big scam. Don't practice it. You get very little money out of it. Excuse me. And yeah, so the people's opinions between which console was better, the Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, was very divided. Some people said the PlayStation 3 was better, and other people said the Xbox 360 was better. Overall, people favoured the Xbox 360, as you may have noticed by now. So the PlayStation 1, which was once the most popular video game console in the world, is now losing out to the Xbox. All that changed this year, in 2013, when Microsoft released a successor to the Xbox 360 called the Xbox One, and Sony released a successor to the PlayStation 3 called, guess, the PlayStation 4. What a creative name. But anyway, as far as I heard, everybody hated the Xbox One. It was quite surprising. Everybody hated it. I even heard that you had to be connected to the internet every 24 hours to actually play the Xbox One. I think Microsoft fixed that. But it still got lots of flaws. And the Xbox 360 itself was very flawed. For the best example I can make is the infamous Red Ring of Death, but people didn't seem to care about the flaws of the Xbox 360. But back to the topic. Everybody seemed to hate the Xbox One. I actually haven't heard anybody praise the Xbox One yet. For now, anyway. And now everybody's putting their faith back into the PlayStation 4. Or should I say, everybody's putting their faith back into the PlayStation. And people are putting their faith into the PlayStation 4 now. Some people even claimed, and I'd believe it myself, that Sony learned from their mistakes. The mistakes that they made in the PlayStation 3. And they went over the mistakes. And they fixed them. And Microsoft got too confident, people claimed. And they decided to make the most gimmicky video game console known to mankind, as you may have noticed now. So what is the point of this video? I wanted to tell you that, do you not find it strange that once we were all PlayStation lovers, and then when the PlayStation 3 was released, we all decided, we broke our romance with the PlayStation. Well, half of us did, and turned to the Xbox 360, and then we started to quarrel over which was better. And now, this year, in 2013, people are reverting back to the PlayStation. They want a PlayStation 4 now, as far as I heard. Okay? You may have heard other stories yourselves, but this is as far as I'm concerned. Do you not find that weird? We love the PlayStation ever since its release in 1994, and then when the PlayStation 3 was released, a lot of us said, nah, that thing's shit. Let's get an Xbox instead. And then, now, we're like, the Xbox One is shit. Let's get a PlayStation 4 instead. You know, isn't that a bit weird? We just did that? We decided to change consoles and now we're changing back? It's quite strange. Well, I think it's strange anyway, but with me being myself, I would have bought a PlayStation 3 instead of an Xbox 360. And now, I am now officially proud that I said it. I am now officially proud to say that I was committed to the PlayStation for an Xbox. Because, excuse me, my throat's going dry. Because now, everybody hates the Xbox. Ha! So, but I thought that was very strange. Think about that. And, finally, goodbye.